And we're going to first be hearing from one of our alumni from Business with God. And she has gone through one of our previous courses and been able to grow her business since then. And so we're going to find out where she is now and how Business with God helped her. And then we're also going to do a little bit of laser coaching, because when I reached out to her to ask if she would like to share with you today, she said, absolutely. And then I said, is there anything we can help you with today too? And she says, yes, actually, I do have a question for you. So you'll get to hear from Hope, and we'll hear about her business and also do a little bit of laser coaching for you here. I want you to tune in and listen. What can I learn from this experience that I could apply to my business? All right. This is content for you if you will look at it that way. So Hope, thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate you taking the time out to come and share with us. Tell us a little bit about your business and the people that you serve.
So my business is that I have a website and a YouTube channel, and my husband and I talk with people about living with a spirit of joy and abundance on a budget. And we know a little bit about that because we raised our 4 sons debt-free on an income which was consistently under the U.S. national average income. So we learned an awful lot about not only how to just pay off debt and live debt-free, but also how to make sure that you are having an awful lot of fun while you're doing it.
I love that. I love that story. And just like we've been teaching this week, the Titus 2, right? You're now taking what you learned and able to teach it to other people. So awesome. How long ago did you take the Business with God course?
I took Business with God, I think it's been exactly a year ago. And you know, the one thing that I tell people about Business with God, the course, is that it's not what you expect. It's more than you expect. You walk in not knowing quite what's going to happen, and you walk out changed, because so much of the work that happens during doing Business with God is here. Mm-hmm. And it's here. It's in your heart and your head, and it's connecting those two. Because sometimes what we know in our head, we have not yet acknowledged in our heart. And so I think when God begins to bring those two things together, that's when he goes, okay, this is what I need you to do. Because so many of us, we have experiences and we think, well, I think I'd like to share about that with others, but I don't quite know how to do it. And I don't even know if God's called me to do this. I don't know how many times I said that. And in fact, even recently I was praying about this, and like Katie's voice reverberated in my head. and I heard her saying, like she did so many times in that class, God is giving you a message, and it's important that you share it with others. So that's when you learn to hone in and say, okay, Lord, I just need to clear away the clutter. I need to clear away like just volumes of stuff that's happening, that's coming at me, and I need to hear from you. I need to hear your voice telling me what to do next, because that's what counts.
Awesome. Where were you when you started Business with God? Give us sort of an idea of where you were prior to the class and what changed during that 6 weeks for you.
Oh gosh, I barely had a website. My website is underthemedian.com, by the way. And I mean, few people even read it. I had less than 200 people on my subscriber list. And my YouTube channel was almost non-existent. I think I had maybe 2 or 3 videos that I just thrown up there because I didn't know what else to do with them. And that's where we were at a year ago.
And during the class, what changed for you? What helped shift that business?
During the class, I think I was so overly worried about numbers, like fixated on them. How many people read what I wrote? How many people left a comment? How many people were on my subscriber list? And it was how many books that I sold, which was like 2. and I was not passionate about the message God had given me, because it gotten all mixed up with, I feel like I need to make money. And when I straightened out my thinking with, no, wait a minute. The most important thing is, first of all, being who you are, who God meant you to be. Because I am like one of those people who's like, I am like, I'm in the room, right? And I was always kind of ashamed of that. I was always kind of like, oh, I wish I was more like my friends who were a little more quiet and a little more reserved. And, didn't wear bright lipstick, and and I learned through the class to embrace who I was. That's okay. God made me that way because the people whose lives He has for me to impact, those are the people that are going to resonate with that. My friends who were quiet, reserved, and dressed very formally and looked really, had their hair done twice a week or whatever. There's nothing wrong with those people, but those aren't the people that God meant for me to serve. And so, so that's what I learned. Katie, I can't remember your original question, but I just went off on.
That's where I was going with that. What did you learn? So that perspective shift for you to be who God created you to be, and to show up to serve, not to worry about the money. What kind of a difference has that made for you since finishing the class?
You know what the big thing is, and it's weird. So I just had a conversation with my husband at noon. So it's almost 2:00 our time. So 2 hours ago, I had this conversation with him, and I had made a mistake. I messed up, and I didn't get information to somebody that I thought I'd gotten to them. And I said, you know what, Larry? I said, the funny thing is, I said, I have perfect peace about this, and I never could have said that a year ago. and I'm like, God's got this, and I don't have to worry about trying to fix something. I just need to worry about, that God's got this. And so I literally, I talked to him at 12 or 12:30 our time. I prayed and I said, Lord, I said, I made a mistake. And I said, I can't tell you how many times in my life, I'm 56, that I've asked Him to fix mistakes that I've made. And I said, I just, I'm just praying. I'm asking you to fix my mistake. And I'm just, I asked Him again. I'm like, I need Him to guide me. And literally, Katie, it was less than an hour later, you messaged me and said, hey, you want to do a hot seat? And I was like, Lord, that was quick action.
Awesome.
And in fact, we haven't discussed this. You did not know that story until this moment, where I was just seeking God this morning, just praying for guidance. And then you showed up in my
inbox. He brought you to mine and said, you need to ask Hope.
I know it. That's why God is so good.
Isn't that awesome?
Interconnectedness that we truly do not understand at all times. Yeah. But it's there and exists. And there are things that happen all of a sudden. We have to acknowledge it and go, God, you're just so good.
Yeah. And that He knows what we have need of before we ask, right? Yeah. He already had that answer on the way. That is so cool. That is so cool. So tell us where your business is today.
All right. So now, 12 months later, we have 2,000 subscribers on the email list. So we went from 200 to 2,000 in 12 months. The YouTube channel went from under 200 subscribers to over 17,000 subscribers.
What? That's awesome.
In fact, it went, that's been in the past 4 months, it went from 200 subscribers to over 17,000.
Right, because we haven't talked in several months, and it was not that big then.
I know it. I'm like, this is so good. And it's been really interesting because I would not have gone that direction. And God made it, super abundantly clear that that was the direction that we were supposed to go. And every day I'm like, God, you're right, man. You were right. This was the direction we were supposed to go. So last year I took a business loss. This year I made a profit, and we're looking for our profit.
This year, we're just finished February. You've already made a profit.
Oh yeah. The profit I've made in the first 2 months of this year is double what I made in the last 12 months last year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hope. Thank you for coming on today. I wish you much success with this. The growth of that YouTube channel just floors me. I'm so excited about what God's going to do. And I can't wait to come back and hear again what happened with us. So keep us updated.
I am too. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's good seeing you.
Thank you so much.